3-pound junior, along with, as we said, Marcellus Lewis. Sims about ready to kick it off with a packed house here tonight. The stands are full. The end zones down to our right is full. Danville was waiting for the short kick. Harrodsburg does not kick the short kick. Mostly Sims usually kicks a down ball, and he does here, and it is taken by one of the upbacks at the 40-yard line to the 45, up to the 47-yard line. That was Stephen Grubbs, a freshman at 5'9", 173-pounder, picking it up and picking up about 7 yards on the return as the Eds pick over 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. Harrodsburg defensively will set that for you after this first play, but the defensive ends looks like it's going to start out being Dennis Johnson and Julius Yeast. The down linesmen, Darrell Peevler and Adam Montgomery. The outside linebackers, Seth Cairns and R.J. Bartleson. Harp under center, waiting for the first snap, in motion, and here's Harp on the cutback across the middle to Roland, and he stopped for short yardage right in the middle of the field. The stop made by Adam Montgomery. Setting the defensive secondary for Harrodsburg, Keith Dunn is at the left half. Gary Smith, the strong safety, and Brandon Yates is the halfback on the far sideline. Danville moving from left to right of your radio dial here on Sports 99. No score, just underway, first quarter. Harrodsburg hosting Danville. Wideouts in both directions. One setback behind quarterback Chase Harp, and that's Roland. As Harp reaches under center, sets the offense, waits for the snap, drops straight back to throw, looking, pulls it down, and tries to run out of the pocket, crosses the 40 up to the 45-yard line. About 4 yards short of the first down as Harrodsburg's secondary had everything all covered up that time.
Harrodsburg just did a real good job on the secondary, and that's what they're really going to have to do is play good secondary defense to keep the Admirals running the football and running into our strength in that great big defensive line.
It'll be third down and about 3 for the first down. Ball is right in the middle of the football field, laying right on the 45-yard line of Danville. Third and about 3. Wideouts coming to the near sideline. Clifford Berry. Also Larry Richardson as a twin set. One setback behind Harp, and that again is Roland. And a flag thrown. I believe Danville took too much time getting this play off, and that'll cost them 5 yards. Our first penalty of the night. Assessed against Danville for delay of game. Stops the clock with 10 minutes, 26 seconds to go in the first quarter. Again, no score. And it's third down and 8 now for the Ads back on their own 40-yard line.
That's where a lot of strategy is going in on over there. The team over there is just the coaching staff trying to make some decisions and just ran out of time.
Berry splits wide to the left, Richardson wide to the right as a short wing set. Harp sets his team. Puts Richardson in motion. Harp dropping back to throw. Throws it across the middle, and it is overthrown. Pass was intended for Shadone Brown, who was streaking down the left sideline. Covering for Harrodsburg was Casey Spencer. That brings up a fourth down and 8 situation, and dropping back in twin double safety for Harrodsburg goes Keith Dunn, and Brandon Yates, set to punt it away, will be Chase Harp, who moves back to about his 27-yard line, waiting on the snap from center. Harp gets the snap, and a nice spiraling punt away as Yates takes it at the 20 to the 25, looking for some running room, just not theirs. There was a swarm of white jerseys down there, led by Larry Richardson for the Admirals, who makes the stop. So Harrodsburg will show their first offensive strategy of the night. First and 10 at their own 26-yard line. We'll set the Ads defensively. We expect them to be in a 50 front. That's 5 down linemen, 2 inside linebackers, and 2 outside linebackers. If they change their strategy, it still looks like a 50 front. Harrodsburg not spreading people out like the Ads were expecting this time. Harrodsburg going to a power I backfield. In motion to the far sideline goes Keith Dunn. The handoff to Casey Spencer over right tackle. Casey gets maybe a yard or two. Joining him as one of the upbacks was Julius Yeast, who played that position about 3 times against Bell County last week. Scored twice when they lined up in that power I set. Phil Yates comes out for the Pioneers. Brandon Yates replaces him in the lineup. Defensively, it's Dunn and Burney, the defensive ends. Jaggers and Lamb, the tackles. The middle guard is Nathan Fuqua. The inside linebackers, Rowland and Brown. The outside, Richardson and Berry. The twin safeties, Lewis and Hart. In motion goes Seth Cairns, right back toward the line of scrimmage. And Hopewell makes the handoff this time to Casey Spencer. Spencer tries to turn it upfield. Not any running room at all as the Ads, Nathan Fuqua, playing that middle guard, comes over to make the stop.
It's a real good job by the Danville Advocate defense as they came swarming over to the football to stop Casey from getting much yardage.
It'll be third down and a long 7 for Harrodsburg. 8:46 to go first quarter. No score. The Ads offensive unit stalled out, had to punt it away. Now Harrodsburg's faced with third and long. Passing down, let's see if Harrodsburg goes for it. Wideouts in both directions. Cairns to the right, Yates to the left. Hopewell, long count at the line of scrimmage, puts Cairns in motion, drops back to throw, lobs it out to Yeast, who drops it in his hands, but it just trickled out. Making the hit for Danville was Larry Richardson, coming in from his outside linebacker position to make the hit on Julius Yeast just as he caught the ball. He coughed it up. Dropping back is Hannibal. Single safety for the Admirals as Dennis Johnson gets set to punt it away, averaging about 35 yards a punt in his career here at Harrodsburg. Hannibal, respecting Johnson's leg, standing at his own 30-yard line. Dennis will be punting from his 20. And he gets a nice end over end off. Hannibal takes it at the 20, 35, up to the 40, spins, still on his feet, up to the 42-yard line.
We might just watch a game of punting here, back and forth, back and forth. The kicking game always plays a very important part of the game, and this exchange didn't do much for either ball club just yet.
It looked to me like, David, that Danville had a whole lot of heat on Dennis Johnson that time. They came within a hair lash of blocking that punt.
Absolutely. And also had a good-looking little wall set up over there, had not Harrodsburg broken through with one player over there to get in.
Richardson and Berry splits wide to the right to the near sideline as Chase Harp reaches under center with one setback. Puts Shadone Brown in motion. The handoff going to Richardson, the fullback, straight up the middle. Stop made by Big Darrell Peevler out of a defensive guard position. Peevler, 6'1", 280 pounds, and a senior. He was injured some last week against Bell County, but he really toughed it out. Had a hard night up there. It was hot. A lot of folks cramped up, and Darrell spent a little time on the sideline, but was able to finish out the game. It'll be second down and 8, a 2-yard gain for Richardson as Danville this time has 2 wideouts. One to the right, one to the left. Hart, the second back through. Shadone Brown off tackle, and Shadone breaks the tackle by Keith Dunn, but coming over to make the stop is Gary Smith and also Adam Montgomery for Harrodsburg.
Just a good job by Shadone Brown as he looked up through the hole there to find something. He created some of his own room because the Harrodsburg had really gotten in there, was closing off some of the running lanes, but he made his own.
Third down and 2. Ball resting right on the midfield stripe. Berry wide to the right. Harp sets his team. Turns the handoff. Second back through. Fumble the ball. Harrodsburg's got it. Richardson was hit and hit hard, making the fumble recover. I think it was Julius Yeast.
He just did a great job of getting in there and getting his man and really knocking the ball free from the ball carrier.
It'll be first and 10, so the Ads give it up on the first fumble of the night, first turnover, after having to punt it on their first offensive series. Harrodsburg takes over in Admiral territory at the Ads' 47-yard line. No score, 6 minutes, 55 seconds to go first quarter. Wideouts everywhere for Harrodsburg. One setback is Keith Dunn. In motion comes Julius Hughes back toward the center of the field. A handoff going to Keith Dunn over right tackle. Crosses the 45 up to about the 42-yard line. A little short gain right over the back of Dennis Johnson, and that's the place I'd want to run the football if it were me.
Oh, absolutely. You couldn't be more right. Keith Dunn is a very exciting runner, too. He's going to be one of these guys that we continue to enjoy watch as his career develops. But last night as we were watching the highlight film, saw Keith twisting and turning and hurdling players in the pass. It's just a good young man to watch.
Same set for Harrodsburg with wideouts. Again, Yeast coming back in motion. Comes right behind Hopewell. The handoff to Keith Dunn over left tackle and gets a nice hole, and it is met right chest high by Chase Harp at the 38-yard line, who drives Dunn back across the 40, but they spotted from his forward progress up to the 38.
Well, they just met headgear to headgear. Chase Harp just showed that he's not afraid to hit. You know, that's kind of been a little bit of the rap on Chase, that he doesn't want to get hit, and he showed just then that he's not afraid at all to make the tackle.
Evidently, he made a believer out of the folks over at the University of Kentucky and their campus. They were really pleased with his performance. Third and short. The handoff once again to Dunn, and I don't think he got the first down. They were in the power I set, but the Danville defensive wall there was able to just squash it.
Well, you're exactly right. I think what both teams are going to have to do is break away from the norm just a little bit and try to make something happen differently than what we're typically accustomed to seeing out of these two clubs.
And wisely, Coach Alvis Johnson says, you know, really, guys, it's really too close to call. Let's measure it, and not only that, but it gives his team a little bit of time to get a breather here. But I think it's going to be well short of the first down.
Well, that's just some of the coaching strategy that you throw in, throw out. You know that if it's a close call like that, you can take advantage of the time. You can probably see one as far as that is. That's almost a yard or more just from the end of the marker. So that just gives this club a little bit more time to think about what they need to do and set up something.
All right, Harrodsburg faced with a fourth down and a yard. Dennis Johnson comes to the sideline, and I believe he may be showing a little bit of blood on his pants. So they're feverishly trying to get that wiped away. Harrodsburg going for it on a fourth and short. Fourth and one. And Dunn, the only set back behind Daniel Hopewell. Daniel turns the handoff to Keith Dunn. This is going to be close, folks.
It's going to be really close.
As Dunn went to the line of scrimmage. Normally, Keith's not very tall, but if he had just bent over just a little bit, I believe he could have got a little more running room. It just depends on where they spot the football. As they spot it at about the 37, 38-yard line, and again, they'll have to bring the chains out. This one will be much closer than the measurement just moments ago. Stops the clock at 4:57 to go in the first quarter, no score.
I'm going to say he got it just by the hair of his chin.
And you'd be right. Just the middle of the football is where the end of the chain dropped out. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Harrodsburg at the Danville 38-yard line. Dennis Johnson has reported back into the offensive lineup for the Pioneers. He, along with Julius Hughes, manning that right side of the offensive line. Wide to the right goes Seth Cairns. Wide to the left, the short side, is Brandon Yates. Split backfield, Spencer and Dunn. Hopewell drops back to throw. Looks one way, lobs it deep for Yates. Is open! Caught it! He got it! He did not get in at the 1-yard line. Wow! Brandon Yates had his man beat down the left sideline. Not a soul there. Larry Richardson came over to make the stop at the 1-yard line.
Well, that was just a wonderful play. They sent Julius Hughes out in the flat out there. Dan Hopewell faked it out there to that side, looked up and saw Brandon Yates deep on the outside corner there, and just wide open. Brandon hauled it in and brought it in at the 1-yard line.
It'll be a first down, goal to goal at the 1-yard line. Power I in the backfield. Daniel Hopewell turns the handoff to Keith Dunn, who is hit right at the line of scrimmage. May have coughed up the football, but they say Dunn was able to get back on it. It'll be second down. The boys, Danville, really converged on that right side. Somebody came in and made a large hit on Keith Dunn. I believe it was Shadone Brown, as Brandon Yates will bring the play in from the sideline.
That's kind of what I was talking about earlier, that both teams are going to have to get away from their norm to make something happen, and I'm confident we'll see both teams work at doing that.
Wideouts again, one setback as Hopewell under center once again. Turns as Dunn gets in from the 1-yard line. Keith Dunn with 3 minutes, 55 seconds. There we go. Scores from the 1-yard line.
Just a good job then by the Harrodsburg offensive line pushing people out of the way just to give Keith that little bit of a squirt to get in there for the touchdown.
Brock Sims is checked in for the PAT. Holding will be Seth Cairns. Snapping is Jeremy Fuller. Waiting on the snap from center. Ball is down, the kick is up, and the kick is no good, off to the left. So, with 3 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the first quarter, our score is Harrodsburg 6, Danville nothing. This is high school football on Sports 99.
Visit your PNC Bank, Chestnut Street in Harrodsburg. Inquire about the all-in-one checking account. No minimum balance requirement. Write as many checks as you want. Keep as much or as little in your account as you desire. You receive accidental death insurance, personalized checks at no charge, Quest banking machine card, and many other banking services for one low monthly fee. Stop in at your PNC Bank on Chestnut Street for more information. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. The Growing Bank in Harrodsburg.
You wonder what happened to the good old days? Well, the good old days are back at Southern Hardware in Harrodsburg. Top-notch personal service. Plenty of clerks to help you with what you want. They don't point to where it is, they get it for you. You'll find many leading brands to choose from at Southern Hardware. You'll find their prices very competitive. Hardware, plumbing supplies, paint, mowers, nuts and bolts. Let the folks at Southern Hardware, Greenville Street in Harrodsburg, help you with their good old-fashioned personal service. When you've got Southern, you don't need another.
Harrodsburg gets set to kick off. Once again, Hannibal and Lewis are deep for the Ads. Sims on his approach. There's the kick. It is a squib kick, once again taken by the up-back. And he's nearly dropped at the 35-yard line. Again, it was Stephen Grubbs on the return. Stop made that time by Phil Yates for Harrodsburg.
Again, that's just a sign that they want to get these squib kicks down there just so that they won't get a good return on it. That's just another one of those things where you give a good coaching strategy and you're putting a lot of faith in your defense that they're going to hold them right there.
First and 10 for the Ads at their own 36-yard line. Wide to left comes Clifford Berry. The wing set is Shadone Brown. Richardson goes in motion. The handoff. Hart keeps it on the option. Struggles across the 40-yard line up to about the 44. Dragging him down with the shoestring tackle, Brandon Yates. Chase Harp just did a nice job as Gary Smith for Harrodsburg. Helmet comes off, so we've got our first injury timeout. So with the injury timeout on the field, we'll pause for 30 seconds. The score with 3:28 to go in the first quarter. Harrodsburg 6, Danville nothing. We'll be back in a half minute. This is high school football on Sports 99.
Finishes from Pittsburgh Paints. Our exterior flat house paint and semi-gloss acrylic latex house and trim paint tops for durability. They go on fast. They keep their rich, beautiful color for years through rain, shine, everything in between. So for the best exterior finishes, get Pittsburgh Paints. Only our best. They guarantee it. Available at Coleman's Lumber Company, North College in Harrodsburg. Coleman's Lumber Company, your Golden Rule Lumber Center. Stop in real soon.
Smith comes off the sideline and head trainer Jonna Bennett from the James B. Hagan Memorial Hospital tending to him right now. Looks like he does have a bloody nose. All right, Harp, second down and 2. Wishbone backfield. Harp drops back to throw. Looks. Throws it deep for Shadone Brown, and Brown catches it. And he stepped out of bounds. Brown and Brandon Yates both wear jersey number 2. This time the white jersey of Shadone Brown won out as he was able to jump over top of the outstretched arms of Brandon Yates.
Well, just a real good job. That was a jumping contest out over there, too, with those guys. And one of them just jumped, I guess you'd say that Brandon just jumped a little bit too early and didn't quite make it.
First and 10 for the Ads at the Pioneer 29-yard line. Ball spotted on the left hash mark as Clifford Berry comes wide to the right. Hart puts Brown in motion, keeps it himself, and then he is hit and dropped by Julius Yeast.
Big Julius made that play right there and made it happen. That's what it's going to take. One arm inside, one arm outside, moving Dennis and Julius around on that defensive front to keep people surprised and let those guys play where they can play best.
The second down and 9 at the Pioneer 28-yard line. 2 minutes, 40 seconds and counting here in the first quarter. Harrodsburg leads it 6-0, but the Ads are threatening as Berry goes wide to the left. Richardson, the lone setback behind Chase Harp. As Harp puts Brown in motion to the near sideline, keeps it himself, and we get a penalty marker throw before they can get the play off. This comes from Bernie Jenkins, who is the referee tonight. Dead ball foul. It is illegal procedure charged against Danville. Second penalty of the night against the Ads. It'll be 10 yards assessed to them.
When you saw the play being stopped, I guess right before they snapped the ball, they actually got the ball off. But anytime you see that and the referee's yelling, that more than likely that's what it's going to be.
It'll be second down and 14 now for the Ads back at the Harrodsburg 33-yard line. Berry is wide to the right. Harp looks for Berry, throws it in the flat to him, caught, and Keith Dunn comes up and makes the hit as Berry dives across the 25 to about the 23-yard line. It's not near enough for the first down. The officials for tonight are out of the Central Kentucky Football Officials Association. Your referee is Bernie Jenkins, the umpire Don Shield, the linesman George East, the line judge is Gary Wilson, and the back judge is Bob Boffman. Third down and 5 for Danville at the Harrodsburg 24-yard line. Berry is wide to the left, the open side of the field. As Harp once again retreats, throws it in the flat off the fingertips of Clifford Berry.
He just tried to get out there, and Julius East was right up in his face, doing the best he could to get to the passer. As he leapt up there, he just didn't have another place to go. Chase Harp just didn't have anywhere else to go, so he dumped it out there just a little bit high for the receiver to get to.
The fourth down and 5, and the Ads in the red zone are going to go for it. Early in the ball game, 1:23 remains in the first quarter. Harrodsburg leads 6-0. Berry is wide to the left, the open side of the field. Harp sets his team, drops back to throw. Across the middle, caught by Berry. Berry takes it across the middle and goes in for the score. Just a quick pass on an inside play to Clifford Berry from 24 yards out, and the Ads tie it up.
Just a really good job on that point. He came dancing through the middle. A lot of times you get a receiver that doesn't like to come across the middle because he knows he's going to get hit, but he did a real good job after he caught that ball of dancing in between defenders.
Set to try the point after kick is away, and it is good, and we get a penalty flag thrown against Harrodsburg. The kicker was Micah Wheat, split the uprights, and that gives Danville a 1-point lead with 1 minute, 16 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Our score, it's Danville 7, Harrodsburg 6. We'll be back in a half minute. This is high school football on Sports 99.
Looking for a real good buy on an automobile, truck, or van? You know, everyone's doing that, but if you're looking for a better buy, then check with Harrodsburg Ford Mercury here in Harrodsburg. You'll find a nice selection of new Ford products to choose from, various price ranges. They offer good terms, low monthly payments, good trade-in allowances. Before you make that final decision, check with Harrodsburg Ford Mercury, North Main, downtown Harrodsburg, your Ford Mercury dealer.
Harrodsburg was assessed a penalty on the extra point try, roughing the kicker, and that will be assessed on the kickoff as they will spot the ball for the kicker, Michael Wheat, at the Harrodsburg 45-yard line. So a 15-yard penalty assessed on the kickoff.
Well, that's just some of your frustrations coming out when something like that happens, and a little bit you let your temper flare up a little bit. What you got to realize is this game is going to take 4 quarters, 48 minutes. Both teams have got to go at it hard the whole game because that's the caliber of clubs that these two teams are.
Clifford Berry actually holding the ball for Michael Wheat as he sets to kick it away. And it's going to carry the end zone easily. Matter of fact, never even saw fair play at all. It went out of the end zone. So Harrodsburg will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line, down by a point, 7-6, with a minute 12 remaining here in the first quarter of play. Well, a packed house here tonight. Well, we've got cars, and more cars, and fans everywhere to see this local rivalry between Harrodsburg and Danville. Both teams undefeated at this stage of the game. Both won in a Recreation Bowl and a Constitution Bowl last Saturday. All right, Harrodsburg's Hopewell sends wideouts in both directions. Spencer to the right, Yates to the left. It's a handoff coming to Keith Dunn, and he lost yardage.
Well, they're going to try to run the old trap play at that point, and it gets back to what you coach your defense to do, and that's to trap the trapper. You know, get in there and just root hog out things and make things happen, and that's what the Danville defense did just then to really stop that play.
Justin Lamb, a 6', 205-pound junior tackle, made the stop for the Ads in the backfield. Clock downing 43 seconds. This will be our final play of the first quarter, as Hopewell sends Yeast wide to the right. In the slot on the right side is Cairns. Yates is wide to the left as Yeast comes in motion back to the near sideline. The handoff goes to Keith Dunn, and we get a penalty marker.
Must have had some early movement over here is the only thing I could figure.
Illegal procedure will be charged against Harrodsburg. That'll be their first penalty of the night. 5-yard assessment against, well, it'll be their second penalty, excuse me. They'll make 20 yards on the night after the 15-yard penalty for roughing the kicker on the PAT try. Drop them back inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. So now be second down and 16 for the first down. 24 seconds and counting. This will be without question the final play of the first quarter. Hopewell has wideouts to the far sideline and rolls to his right. Wants to throw, looking, throws it in the flat, caught by Seth Cairns, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line with 7 seconds to go. So I was wrong.
Well, just to really, that's what happens when you throw the football and run out of bounds, too. And I know that's what Hal Mummy's looking forward to his team doing, is taking advantage of a clock situation. But exactly, a real good play, just rolled out. I know that Dan really likes to roll out when he throws the ball. He got out there, and Seth Cairns was just out there and made a good catch.
It'll be third down and 7 for Harrodsburg at their own 24-yard line. Clock stopped with 7 seconds. Cairns wide to the open side of the field to the left. Yates is wide to the right. Hopewell has to call a timeout as something was not right. So with timeout on the field, 7 seconds to go in the first quarter. We'll pause for a half minute. Say our score. It's Danville 7, Harrodsburg 6. This is high school football on Sports 99.
Your PNC Bank in Harrodsburg, delivering the highest quality products and services in the banking community. Convenient banking hours for their customers. The lobby hours at Chestnut Street, 9 to 4. And also the drive-in lanes, Chestnut Street, open 7:30 to 4 Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 6 on Fridays. The PNC Bank at 570 Chestnut Street in Harrodsburg, member FDIC. The community and bank growing together, an equal housing lender.
And we're back to Pioneer Stadium, Alvis Johnson Field, where the Pioneers find himself on the short end of the scoreboard right now, down by a point, 7-6. Brock Sims' PAT went wide to the left on his try. Michael Wheat split the uprights. That's the difference in the score of this football game here at Harrodsburg High School.
Well, it's really been nice to watch this crowd grow. Just like you said a while ago, there are a lot of people here, and it's an exciting night. It's a nice, cool, comfortable night. This is a great night for football, and if you hadn't thought about coming on out, you really do need to come on out. There were some tailgaters out here earlier just doing a fine job. I felt like John Madden walking through the parking lot over there a while ago, wanting to get me some bratwurst and some chicken, and it was just a real good time.
Third down and a long 7 for Harrodsburg as Coach Alvis Johnson just now retreating from his squad, whom he met out at the 20-yard line. Brandon Yates comes wide to the left, the open side of the field. The ball is on the right hash mark, just short of the 25-yard line. As Hopewell reaches under center, puts Cairns in motion, back toward the center of the line of scrimmage, and Hopewell's long count at the line drew Danville off. So that'll cost the Ads 5.
And brought the motion man across, bringing him really, really slow. It almost looked like the motion man had stepped towards the line of scrimmage, which would have been an illegal procedure call against Harrodsburg, too. So a very cautious team, but that was a good penalty. If we're gonna get one that works for us in our favor, we want one like that because it turns a third and long situation into a third and short situation.
Casey Spencer checks into the Harrodsburg lineup as Keith Dunn comes out. Short yard situation, 3rd and 1, and Spencer will be the lone setback. Yates and Cairns go wide to the right. Hopewell under center, turns and the quarterback dives, gets the first down as he crosses the 30 up to about the 31, maybe the 32-yard line, where the clock is stopped to move the chains, but as soon as they move the chain, those 4 seconds will click off and we'll have our first quarter out of the way. Down to 1, and that's the end of the first quarter. So at the end of 1 here at Harrodsburg High School, our score, Danville 7, Harrodsburg 6. We'll be back in a moment. This is high school football on Sports 99.
If your checking account is not earning you interest, it should be, it can be. At First Federal Savings Bank in here, it
goes both ways for the Ads. Wide to the right is Clifford Berry. As Harp sets his team, puts Fidel Brown in motion, drops back to throw, looking, and throws it in the flat, wide open, caught by Larry Richardson as Gary Smith just let Richardson out running to the corner.
You know, Gary's had that bad hamstring, and that was one of the things that Coach Johnson talked about earlier was the status of the injuries, and he listed Gary as still having trouble with that hamstring, and maybe that was bothering him some, but his man was clearly wide open.
Richardson, a 30-yard TD pass from Chase Harp as Michael Wheat checks in for the PAT. The snap, the ball is down, the kick is away, and the kick is good. So, with 11 minutes, 46 seconds to go in the second quarter, our score, it's Danville 14, Harrodsburg 6. We'll be back in just a moment. This is high school football on Sports 99.
Do you know what your checking account is costing you per month? Put your money in an interest-earning checking account at First Federal Savings Bank of Harrodsburg. Earn interest on checking. Earn amount of interest rate paying at that time. No service charge fees when a $250 average daily balance is kept. Unlimited checking. First Federal Savings Bank of Harrodsburg, Lexington and Charles, with a branch office in Lawrenceburg. Why are so many people, not just local people, but from out of the county, shopping with Harrodsburg Ford Mercury? Well, first of all, they have the selection of new and used vehicles. They offer reasonable prices, good trade-in allowances, quality service after the sale. Don Allen and his staff at Harrodsburg Ford Mercury don't just want your business, they want to earn it. They go all out to try to please you in every way. They only ask for the opportunity to show you their vehicles and the kind of deals they offer. North Main, downtown Harrodsburg.
Michael Wheat gets set to kick it off. Deep for Harrodsburg. Keith Dunn. Waiting on the whistle from referee Bernie Jenkins. There it is, and here's the kick. It is a high kick to be taken by Brandon Yates at the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, 30, out to 35, still on his feet, the 40, up to the 43-yard line. A nice return by Brandon Yates, who was hit at the 15-yard line, was able to, got one of those yellow markers down there, holding against Harrodsburg. Will nullify that fine run by Brandon Yates.
Well, he really did do a good job. As he headed up through the field there, you could just see that he was making some headway. Keith Dunn made a wonderful block up here for him, as both of them are good return men. Both of them have a whole lot of talent. When Brandon got that ball, Keith blocked well for him, and then he was able to bring it on down the field. And right there at the last second, and had to have happened just as the pile was turning over, Harrodsburg was called for holding.
10-yard penalty assessed against Harrodsburg. That'll be their third penalty of the night, 30 yards so far, as they start 1st and 10 now at their own 29-yard line, down 14-6 with 11:34 remaining in the first half. Hopewell has wideouts to the far sideline. The handoff goes straight ahead to Keith Dunn. Dunn still on his feet and got a flag throw as Dunn crosses the 35 up to near the 40-yard line.
I believe that's going to be a face mask right there at the end. Keith Dunn just showed a lot of perseverance. He did not go down. It looked like he almost hit a knee, but he didn't. Kept his balance and was able to get another 4 yards after the man had grabbed onto him. And that's when, that second effort by the tackler, that's when the face mask was obtained.
They'll mark this one off. This will be a major penalty, a 15-yard penalty, and will put Harrodsburg in Danville territory up at the 46-yard line. Ball on the right hash mark. Harrodsburg moving from left to right of your radio dial as Hopewell sends wideouts to the far sideline, the open side of the field. Cairns and Yates in the slot. Brandon Yates wide to the left. A handoff again to Keith Dunn, who gets it close to the 40-yard line. And I thought there was a little extra hitting that time, but no call.
Keith is doing a good job root hogging it out, I guess you might say, and getting behind his big boys over here. Julius East and Dennis Johnson, along with Jeremy Fuller, blocking upside in the middle there, was doing a good job. Anytime you can pick up 4 yards, we can play with 4 yards a pop. We'll go with that.
Second down and 6 on the 4-yard gain by Dunn. The secondary had to come up and make the stop on Keith Dunn that time. Richardson and Mario Buster. Wideouts again to the far sideline is Hopewell. Drops back, wants to throw, across the middle, and it is incomplete as Hopewell was dropped by Rob Burney, the defensive end, and his pass went to the right. Julius Yeast went to the left. So there's a couple players that weren't on the same page of the book.
I think what happened in that case, Dan had his back. Anytime a quarterback, and that's why it's so important for that backside tackle over there, or the backside running back to pick up that backside rusher, because the quarterback cannot see that backside guy coming, and he just nailed him in the back, right between the shoulder blades. Good tackle.
Third down and 5 for Harrodsburg at the Danville 41-yard line. Twin set behind Hopewell, rolls to his left, wants to throw, has time, still rolling, and throws it in the flat, incomplete. Pass was just a little underthrown, intended for Seth Cairns, who got a hand on it. And if Seth was able to pull that one in, it would have been good enough for the first down.
It was right at the first down marker, and it looked like what they were trying to do is just get a little bit further outside, and maybe they went too much outside. If he could have stopped and pulled up, because Seth was wide open just a couple of seconds earlier.
Harrodsburg now faced with a 4th and 5 as Dennis Johnson drops back to punt it away. His personal protector is teammate Julius Yeast. It's not a bad combination, as Danville does not send anybody back deep. And Johnson just nails one. Carries into the end zone. And it hit right on the goal line. And there to try to knock it back in play was James Yeast. But was not able to do that. So Danville will take over at their own 20-yard line, leading it 14-6.
Remember one time last week we saw Dennis pull one down and take off with it and picked up the first down. He did bobble the ball, and Julius was able to recover it, but they picked up the first down on a fake punt. So there's a little bit of finagling and finesse up Coach Johnson's sleeve sometimes.
10 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the half. Danville leads at 14-6 with the football at their own 20-yard line. Hart sets one wide out to the far sideline as Barry. Brown goes in motion to the far sideline as Harp keeps it and tries to go off tackle, and then he is met and dropped by the left side of the defensive line.
Well, you said that right. The left side just grabbed onto him. I noticed Coach Johnson moved R.J. Bartleson's end down to the nose man spot. R.J. just put a lot of pressure on the center to push through, but I do notice him slow getting up right now.
He's down there in a lot of meat in that territory. R.J. is only 6 foot, 160 pounds, and I don't know whether he'll really weigh 160 or not, but he's down in there with a whole lot of beef.
Well, he's one of those guys that he really doesn't mind mixing it up. When we had him in the middle school program, he just did a fabulous job for us, and he's one of these guys that really has a nose for the football and likes to go at it.
Barry is wide to the left for the ads. Second down and 9. As Hart, Penny's cadence, drops back to throw. Now rolls to his left and is hit and dropped at the 22-yard line. First man to him, Jeremy Fuller, got a hand on him. Then Seth Cairns came in along with Keith Dunn, or it was James Yeast, to finish off Harp after a gain of 2. It'll be third down and a long 7 for Danville.
Just a real good job by a hustling defense out here. He was able to get outside of Dennis on that particular play, but the rest of the defense did their job and came up to make something happen and keep him contained.
Barry comes wide to the near sideline. Boy, with that same offensive set. In motion goes Hannibal this time. The handoff, though, to Richardson. Richardson got the first down as he got up to the 30-yard line, where Keith Dunn was able to just get his ankles and pull him down.
Well, just some real good blocking up there then. They had moved Julius at that point down to the nose man situation. Looked like the Danville offensive line almost came over and just triple teamed Julius to try to keep him away from making the play, and that way they were able to get outside.
It'll be first and 10 for the Eds at their own 31-yard line after a fine carry by Larry Richardson.
I was a mite surprised that Coach Hart wouldn't throw the ball just then.
First and 10. Hart looks over the offense. Now the defense now reaches under center. Turns a handoff to the second back through is Hannibal. And Hannibal crosses the 35 up to about the 36, 37-yard line, where Casey Spencer moves over to make the stop for Harrodsburg. As we said, Hannibal not a very big kid at all. 5'3" is what they listed on the roster.
He just lowered his shoulders and took off at that point. Did a real good job. That's one of the things that you need to do as a runner is keep a low center of gravity and keep guys' eyes off of you, too. Get in there and just hide from it.
Second down and 4. 6-yard gain for Hannibal. Harp turns, makes the pitch back to Shadone Brown. Nope, that's a new man in there. Carrying the football for the first time was Marcellus Lewis, as he gets the first down up to about the 45-yard line. So the Eds picking up real estate one right after the other.
Well, that's what they've always done and done so well is move the ball on the ground. They've just gone back to their basic attack, spreading the ball around to the running backs and letting them all get a little playing time, going inside, going outside, doing a good job of mixing up their play.
First and 10, again for the Eds. Ball just short of the 45-yard line as Harp under center. Rolls to his left, wants to throw, is going to be sacked for the first time tonight. And the first man to hit him, was that R.J. or Julius?
I think that was Julius. Looks like they all decided, the defensive line decided to have a team meeting right back there with Chase Harp involved in it. Just a real good job by the defensive line putting pressure.
Harp just does a great job, I think, Dave, of hiding the football. He hunches over the ball. After he takes the ball from center, he turns, hunches over the ball. It's hard to find. You don't know whether he's going to keep it or make the handoff, but he does a good job of hiding the football. Second down and 12. as the Ads have it. Hart, Penny Cadence, turns handoff, first back through, gets it back to about the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage at the 45, before being stopped by Big Darrell Peeber once again for Harrodsburg.
Well, Big Darrell's doing a good job. We really need to depend on him in here. He's got to do a big job filling a big hole on some names that we're going to be missing. We talked so much last year about Derek Johnson as Derek's now at the University of Kentucky, but he did such a wonderful job in the middle putting pressure, and when Darrell came in, he was real risky and could do a good job too. So Darrell's in there by himself this year trying to fill some big shoes.
3rd and 9 for the Ads at their own 46. Harp again, back to throw, and Dennis got him this time.
Where to go? Dennis Johnson Jr. Chiefs again just decided to have a meeting back here. Looks like they for a sack of about 5 yards. Just did a real good job.
The bookends met at Chase Harp's chest. And it's a loss of 5. It'll be 4th down and 15. Dropping back to punt will be Chase Hart, standing at his own 25-yard line. Twin safety for Harrodsburg, Brandon Yates and Keith Dunn. 5:23 to go in the half. Danville leads it by a score of 14-6. Here's the kick taken by Yates on the run at the 30. He's still 35, the 40, and knocked out of bounds at the 44-yard line.
Well, he just did a great job. So many times we've watched Brandon last year pick up a ball that had bounced once or twice. We watched him do it last week, but he grabs that ball, heads around this outside corner, and just almost broke it for the big one.
1st and 10 for Harrodsburg at their own 45-yard line. 5:12 to go in the half. Down by a touchdown and 2. 14-6. Wide to the near sideline, the short side of the field comes Seth Cairns. Wide to the left is Brandon Yates. Twin setback behind quarterback Dan Hopewell, Phil Yates, and Keith Dunn. Cairns going in motion to the far sideline. Long count at the line. Hopewell drops back to throw. This time, lobs it deep for Julius, way over his head. As Julius had double coverage that time. Lewis and Richardson for the Ads had Julius.
Well, he was open He was open just a split second. You had to get the ball to him a little bit quicker than that. I think there was a little bit pressure on the quarterback then. He just couldn't quite see the read. He threw it just a little bit long, obviously, but then a little bit late too.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 as R.J. Bartleson reports in as one of the wideouts. Brandon Yates comes to the sideline for a breather. Cairns wide to the right, Bartleson wide to the left. Hopewell turns, rolls to his right, wants to throw. Across the middle to Julius East, who caught it at midfield and lunges forward to the Danville 47-yard line. He'll be short of the 1st down by about 2 yards.
Boy, Julius just did a good job catching the ball in traffic. He didn't turn to the outside. He wasn't going to be afraid of anybody. He turned it back up to the inside and had 2 guys around his ankles before the 3rd one came in and made the tackle.
Making the stop for the Admirals was John Gray, 6'2", 210-pound junior from his left linebacker position. 3rd down and 2 for Harrodsburg as Bartleson once again goes wide to the left. Cairns wide to the right. 1 setback, Keith Dunn. And Dunn gets the call going over right tackle, gets the 1st down.
Good play.
Up to about the 42-yard line.
Good play. Harrodsburg's just going to be running that football right there to get the 1st down yardage to make something happen. As I scan the field, though, when I come up, I see number 34 playing way off R.J. Bartleson out there. I think if I were a quarterback in a situation like this, and particularly where you've got a 1st down situation, I'd be very tempted to toss that ball out to him and see what he could make happen.
Clock moving, 3:59 to go in the half. Danville leading it 14-6. Wide to the left is Bartleson. Cairns is wide to the right again to Hopewell. Getting pressure. Dropped the football. Picked up by Danville at the Harrodsburg 35-yard line. Making the recovery was Justin Lamb. Well, the backside, as Daniel did not see it coming, was nailed away back behind the line of scrimmage, and he coughed it up.
it's just one of those hard things. You know, you get a quarterback running and he's trying to throw the football. He's got the ball loose in his hands, and then a backside tackler comes over and just kind of swats it, and down it goes.
Lamb gets the fumble recovery as Danville will now take over in excellent field position at the Harrodsburg 34-yard line. Double tight end this time. Wishbone in the backfield for the Ads. Hart makes the pitch to Marcellus Lewis. Trying to sweep the far sideline. Dennis Johnson dives for him and snags him as he crosses the 30-yard line.
Well, I know that Coach Johnson would love to have just run this clock down there and gotten the score right here at the end of the first half. But this is where we're going to have to really depend on the defense to get that ball back to us so that we can attempt to do that one more time.
It'll be second down and 4 for the Ads at the Pioneer 30. Well, actually the 27-yard line. Again, the double tight end. Danville moving into the running game out of the wishbone set. Harp, second back through. Shadone Brown over right tackle. Brown takes it to the far sideline and then is knocked out of bounds as he crossed the 20 up to near the 15-yard line.
Just a real good run by Shadone Brown. Again, the Danville Admirals just doing a real good job of mixing up their plays. Right, left, middle, doing a wonderful job of seeing where the big men are and avoiding them.
They mark it at the 17-yard line, but it's another Admiral first down with 2:54 remaining in the half. The Ads threatening, leading at 14-6. Again, the double tight end. Wishbone centers. Harp looks over the defense, turns, second back through. Larry Richardson coming to the left this time. He crosses the 15 up to about the 13-yard line. Dennis Johnson moves in to make the stop for Harrodsburg.
Looks like I saw one of the referees flying out of the pile there, too. Somebody hit him and kind of knocked his noggin on the ground. This is what Coach Johnson thought they might do to him, is come back to their power, and that's exactly what they're doing, is running that belly play and running it well. Just a little rub right off the offside tackle.
Second down and 6. Harp waiting on the snap from center. Turns the handoff to Richardson, and Richardson takes it to down about the 10-yard line, a gain of only 1. It'll be third down and 4. Coming out is Josh Jaggers for the Ads. He has an equipment problem. He's quickly replaced in the Admiral lineup.
Darrell Peasley got a good tag on Richardson just then, but he didn't quite wrap up and get him behind the line of scrimmage, but he did do a good job of making penetration.
Again, full house backfield. Hart turns, second back. Again, it's Shadone Brown. Jeremy Fuller comes in from the blind side. Drops it. A loss on the play of the yard, and we get a penalty marker. Well, that's a timeout. I thought I saw a penalty flag. It's just a rag of a minute 30. Goal attempt. The T will be spotted at the 12-yard line. No correction, that's the 17-yard line. And something's not right. Danville has to call another timeout as Holtzclaw, the holder, saw something and said something's not right here. So they call a timeout and go over and gather around Coach Sam Harp.
This is one of those times when I'm certain that Coach Johnson is out there telling his ball club to be very cautious of this. Here it is, fourth and about 3. The ball is down on the inside the 10-yard line. This could be one of those times when the Danville Admirals might coming up with a fake field goal or something like this. So there's a lot of things racing through the minds of these young men out there right now. With only 1 minute and 30 seconds left, that gives them plenty of time if they did get the first down, certainly to punch it into the end zone.
It'll be a fourth down situation if they do elect to go for the field goal attempt. The T will be spotted at about the 17-yard line. This would make for a 17-yard field goal attempt. And the ball is on the right hash mark, so he'll be kicking from right to left to try to put it in the center of the uprights. Holtzclaw counting the number of players out. Now he sets the tee at the 17 as Wheat gets ready for the snap. Long count at the line. They may be trying to delay. There's the snap. The kick is up, and the kick is no good. Off to the left. Had the distance and had the height, but just wouldn't go through. So Harrodsburg dodges 3 points from the Ads and will take over. 1st and 10 with a minute 26 remaining here in the first half of play.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Coach Johnson comes out here with. You know, I'm still of the school that I would really, I know he wants to get a score. There's a couple of ways of doing it. We just haven't had a whole lot of luck either on the ground or in the air. So his options here are somewhat limited until he can get back in at halftime and just kind of regroup his troops.
1st and 10 for Harrodsburg as they spotted at the 20-yard line. Wide outs in both directions. For Harrodsburg, Yeast and Cairns wide to the right. Yates is wide to the left. One setback behind Dan Hopewell as Yeast goes in motion to the far sideline. And the handoff goes to Phil Yates. Or excuse me, that's Keith Dunn, the tailback. Trying to go right in behind the blocking of Julius Yeast and Dennis Johnson on the right side. Short gain, if any, maybe a yard for Keith Dunn. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Well, what you do is you bring big Julius Hughes back across the middle in there on a motion, use him as a blocking back up in there. But what happened is that defensive end over here caved in and followed in right behind Julius's hip pocket and was able to meet Keith Dunn right at the line of scrimmage.
Wideouts again in both directions. A trip set to the near sideline. Cairns, Yeast, and Yates wide to the left. Casey Spencer. Hopewell, the handoff going to Keith Dunn, and Dunn gets it across the 25 up to the 26-yard line, still short of the first down. And clock counting with 30 seconds. Will they air this 3rd down attempt out if they can get this one off at 25 seconds?
I think he's, they've got the ball set now. I think he's just going to want to let it run out. Looks like that's what he's going to do, and let his troops regroup a little bit.
That's exactly what's going to happen. They've set the clock. Harrodsburg is already moving toward the locker room. Danville now moving along the right sideline, down to 8 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's the end of the first half. We played 1 half here at Harrodsburg High School. The Ads lead it at halftime.
We talked about solutions.
Hopewell rolls to his right. Throws it in the flat off the hands of Seth Cairns. Covering on the play was Richardson.
That was good coverage then. A little bit of pressure back here on the quarterback, but he had ample time to get the ball off. I think what Seth was thinking about at that time, Seth Cairns was thinking about keeping his feet in bounds so that he could catch that ball in bounds. And it was just one of those passes that was just a very difficult pass to catch. Good coverage on the Danville secondary too.
3rd down and 8 at the 49-yard line of Harrodsburg. Cairns comes wide to the right. Yates is wide to the left. And Hopewell sends Brandon Yates in motion to the near sideline. Rolls to his right. Wants to throw. Now pulls it down and just gets a couple of yards. That's it. That was the Danville defensive unit, led the charge by Nathan Fuqua, along with Ernest Dunn, come over to make the stop.
I know they wanted to get Dan out there so they could look downfield and try to find Brandon Yates down there deep. I want to say Dennis Johnson just did a wonderful job out here. He actually was blocking 2 people, had one in face of him, and was basically pushing him into the other one to help get around that corner and hold those guys out.
Dennis Johnson will be punting it away. Nobody for Danville, dropping back deep. Chase Harp is the deepest, and he's just about 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. Johnson puts the toe to it, and is going to carry into the end zone. Man alive.
Those guys
James
were down
East
there.
and Brandon Yates were both down there on the football, but it just outran them.
They were down there, weren't they?
When it hit the ground, it went hop-skipping into the end zone, just like a rabbit running out of a bush.
It wasn't one of those great big looning bounces. It was just a fast travel, wasn't it? That was a good description of it there. A rabbit out of the bushes, man.
First and 10 for the Ads at their own 20-yard line. Fourth quarter, 11 minutes remaining. There's still time, but Big Bend is certainly not on Harrodsburg's side. They need a momentum breaker here of some sort. Wide to the left is Clifton Berry. In motion goes Hannibal. Handoff straight back through. On the second back is Marcellus Lewis. Picks up 5, maybe 6 to the 26-yard line.
It almost looked like a counter tray of the old Washington Redskins. It's a very simple blocking technique, but you send it back to the backside back over there, and then you lead back around with the backside line. It's the front side line is just down, and the backside is around and around. It's pretty easy to coach, and it's a really good play.
A couple of other teams that utilize the same type offense. Lexington Catholic, who's playing Henry Clay tonight over in Lexington, and Bardstown. They can hide the football real well. Danville doing it here tonight. Here's Chase Hart, the keeper, trying to get around right in. Runs into the outstretched arms of Dennis Johnson and Casey Spencer.
He's getting up a little bit slow himself, but no, he's up. I thought Chase might be down just a little bit, but he was just kind of rolling around on his hips there just a second, and he's up walking around on his legs, kind of raising one high every now and then. He's ready to play.
3rd and 2 for the Ads. Wilson checks in with a play from the sideline. Notice Danville's huddle is different than you would normally find a huddle. They linemen line up in a straight line, but they face the Danville sideline.
Everybody can see the coaching staff.
Harp under center. And Dennis Johnson jumped into the neutral zone. So the Ads will get 5.
Good hard count by Chase Harp. That keeps the defense honest, keeps them on there so they don't get that jump that they also often like to do on those offensive linemen. Really helps an offensive lineman to get that every now and then. Get you a hard count. Keep that defensive where they're not so fired up to come off right on your nose.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Admirals at their own 34-yard line, leading at 14-6. 9:35 is all that remains here in this ball game. Wide to the right again is Berry. Richardson, the lone setback behind quarterback Chase Hart. In motion comes Marcellus Lewis. The handoff goes to Richardson. And he's hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. That's Brian Rowland, wasn't Richardson.
They just did a real good job of pursuing to the football at that point. Once they got the back turned back to the inside, all the pursuits caught back up with him. That's the two fundamentals of football is to pursue it and then to tackle it. You got to pursue the football and tackle it once you get there. And those guys did a good job of doing it then.
2nd and 9 for the Ads. Wide outs to the far sideline, Berry and Lewis. Retreats, sets in the pocket, throws it across the middle, caught by Berry, and then he's upended by Keith Dunn. But that pass, I'm telling you what, was a rifle to Berry across the middle.
A great catch and
caught it in midair.
Just a lot of things went well then for Danville as Chase really got that ball down there. What a fantastic catch. And then a great tackle by Keith Dunn as he was just right on top of him or right with him to cut his legs out from under him. It's almost a miracle he wasn't hurt.
With every tick of the clock, it appears that Chase Harp's confidence just blossoms.
It really does.
He fired that one like the big leaguers.
Well, he's a big leaguer.
Harp fumbled the football, and I believe Harrodsburg's got it. Yep. Harp that time pulled out too soon from the center, and Adam Montgomery, the sophomore tackle, comes up with the football recovery. So Harrodsburg will get it with 8 minutes, 2 seconds to go on the ball game, down by 11, 17-6. Let's see if they can get the offense on track here. Danville playing a little prevent defensively in the secondary as Harp has lined up a good 50 yards off the ball. Harrodsburg sends wideouts again in both directions. And Hopewell drops back to throw. And it is intercepted.
His arm was hit by Justin Lamb as he got in there. His throwing motion was stopped as Lamb's arm caught Hopewell's arm as he was trying to throw the football. And
Nathan
not much he could do.
gets the interception. So Danville gets it right back with 7:56 to go, leading it 17-6. Back-to-back turnovers. At the Harrodsburg 42-yard line, the Ads have it right back. Well,
that hurts.
It does.
That hurts right there.
You get mojo going your way, and then how quickly it can turn. Full house backfield again. Here's the pitch back to Hannibal. Hannibal turns it on at the corner and then runs out of bounds as Brandon Yates got an ankle on him, but Hannibal was able to run out of bounds. Short fella, 5'3".
They just did a good job. Seth Cairns came over here to help out, getting finally pushed on out of bounds over here, and just did a real good job.
It'll be 2nd down and 4 after the 6-yard gain. We got a Harrodsburg player injured that came to the sideline. Look at who that might be. That's Daniel. He wasn't in there defensively, was he?
No, he came off the field.
Well, he's injured player.
What he's holding? He's holding his shoulder?
All right, Harp, 2nd and 4 for the Ads. Balance line, full house backfield. Harp drops the throw. Looks, throws it across the middle. Caught by Bernie. And Bernie takes it inside the 20 down to the 15-yard line.
Well, it doesn't get any prettier than that right there. Again, Chase Harp was dropping straight back, looking, finding his man, and then turning and pulling the trigger on the big gun. And that ball just sails right across the middle to its target. Just a beautiful pass, beautiful catch.
Drilled it in there. Both of Danville's touchdowns have come by the way of Chase Hart. One to Clifford Berry in the first quarter, one to Larry Richardson in the second. Harp again, full house, makes the pitch back to Marcellus Lewis. And Lewis is hit right as he got to the line of scrimmage. Coming up to make the stop, Casey Spencer and Julius Yeast.
Well, they're doing all they can. I think the Harrodsburg defense has made an admirable throw, much more so than we probably thought and anticipated. They're doing a real good job. They've done a good job all night keeping the ball moving, keeping things happening with the Danville offense making good plays.
Full house for the Ads. Double tight end. However, they are showing an unbalanced line. Nope, it's a balanced line. Harp, the handoff to Lewis, Adam Montgomery, and Jeremy Fuller.
Jeremy met him right there in the middle and made the first contact to slow him down as he did a good job from that linebacker spot then.
Clock under 6 minutes to go. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Ball resting at the 15-yard line.
The defense has really got to hold here. They don't want to bend anymore. This is one spot I forget exactly how long that field goal was, but we don't want to bend any more for another touchdown.
Here's Harp once again calling his play, dropping back to throw. Looks, throws it across the middle. Does he catch it?
He caught it.
I believe he did. Barry has it down at the 10-yard line.
He did a real good job of putting that
short of the first down.
Again, Chase just dropped back and pulled the trigger on that big gun, and it was just right there. Brandon Yates really didn't have a shot at it at all. He kept it down and away, and Barry was able to reel it in.
4th down and 4, and the Ads are going to go for it rather than try a field goal. Michael Wheat has already hit a 26-yard field goal in the 3rd quarter. Wide out to the far sideline goes Barry. 4th down and 4. What is Harp and company going to do? Is just a pass to the tight end, overthrow.
I think there was a little bit of confusion back here in the Harrodsburg secondary too, because that big tight end was just right over there, and they didn't quite make it, but he was wide open as
Rob Bernie was the intended receiver, and
just a little quick toss to that big tight end.
Hopewell does check back back into the lineup for Harrodsburg. 4:44 remains in the ball game. Danville leads at 17-6. And Harrodsburg is without a player. Now Josh Garrett quickly reports into the lineup.
This is really a very young offensive line. You got a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, two sophomores.
Hopewell turns, makes the handoff. Drops back to throw to Keith Dunn at the 15, to the 20, and then he's run out of bounds at the 24-yard line. I saw Seth Cairns break open also, but Chase Hart playing center field once again and looked like he was back there trying to
lull somebody. Yeah, he was back there playing the little cat and mouse game is what he was doing, and that's a good smart move on a safety's perspective back there. If you were going to throw that ball deep to Seth just then, you're going to really have to burn that baby in there, and I think with the speed that Chase has, he could have had another one.
Wideouts again in both directions. As Hopewell sends Cairns in motion. Hopewell drops back to throw. Throws it deep for Cairns. Run! And overshot him. Like Cairns may have got hung up with the defender, Mario Buster, and got his head turned inside. The ball was coming on his outside hip. And when he turned to see the football, it was already over his head.
Well, this gives Harrodsburg a little bit of something that they can work forward to. This is not a district game, so they don't have to sweat that out from that standpoint. This is a pride game, though, and you want to win it because of the pride factor.
Second down and 10. Hopewell once again retreats. Pass was intended for Casey Spencer.
Looks like it just bounced right off his shoulder.
Was decked by Shadone Brown. Just about the same time that the ball arrived.
Just going to be a quick hitch there and turn and look, and just didn't quite come up with it.
It'll be third and 10. Ball is at the 25-yard line of Harrodsburg. Clock 4 minutes, 28 seconds. Stopped on the incomplete pass. Danville leads at 17-6. Wideouts to the near sideline, R.J. Bartleson and Brandon Yates. Hopewell again retreats. Across the middle, dropped by Philip Yates. Boy, if he could have held on to that one. He had the first down, and knowing Philip, he could have picked up some more real estate.
He grabbed his headgear as he went down there. He knew that he'd missed a good one. There'll be other times. I think this is a good exercise for all of them to let them know that
they're not invincible.
Exactly. And then this is one of those things that I believe they're going to have to be able to work on in that championship game in Louisville, too. They've got to be able to have more than just the one dimension of which they've worked so hard. Coach Johnson's worked so hard. Coach Yates has worked so hard this offseason to try to develop that so that they can get it on. And it's a good opponent to work it against where it doesn't count in district play.
Harrodsburg going for it on 4th down and 10. Deep in their own territory. The pass to Keith Dunn, and he's hit actually after he come out of bounds. I thought there should have been maybe a flag there, but the officials did not throw it. Well short of the first down.
Not much happening there. Again, Harrodsburg's defense is going to have to come to the rescue here as Danville gets the ball in their own territory, so they've really got to show some strength, show some perseverance here, and get with it. This is where these guys have got to realize that this is one of those games where it's a practice session now for the ring. You want to win the ring, you want to take it home, you want to be able to do something, but this is also a Saturday night. It's just a street fight. They're going to have to buckle down and realize that they've got to play 4 quarters of football in games later on this year.
Harp under center. Brown goes in motion. Harp on the option, makes the pitch to Shadone Brown, drops it, and Harp recovers it.
I think they both saw Big Julius Hughes shucking blockers out there. Julius shucked 3 different blockers then and was then going to be ready to make the play out there. And I think they were all looking at Julius get rid of guys thinking, I'm next and I've got the luggage.
Clock moving, 3:53. Second down and 14, a loss of 4 on the option play by the Admirals. Well, the Ads will be back in action next Friday. See where they'll be going. They'll be hosting Shelby County. That's a tough 4A school. The Ads will face next Friday night. Harrodsburg will go on the road and play another tough AA team, that in the Memorial County Rebels. There's a fumble. And I think Harrodsburg came up with it. Casey Spencer.
Danville's had a couple. They're learning something tonight, too, is Danville is what I think Danville's number 3 in 2A right behind Boyle County, and that's where we go next week, so that'll be another big game. Breathitt County, Boyle County, Danville, all 1, 2, 3 in Class 2A, so these are some very admirable foes that Harrodsburg has placed. I told Coach Johnson that he ought to fire the AD, whoever that is, that schedules these games for him this early in the season.
Hopewell under center, 1st and 10, puts Cairns in motion. Takes to Dunn. Hopewell rolls to his right, and that ought to be a flag. That ought to be a flag. Yep. As Dunn was clearly way out of bounds, and a player come flying out of bounds and put him on his keister.
Who was that? Shadone Brown?
I think it was Shadone. Came over there. Almost wiped out Alvis.
I was looking at Seth Cairns down here. He was wide open about 35 yards down the field, just literally standing by himself.
East goes wide to the left. Trip set to the near sideline. And Hopewell getting pressure. Gonna get it. Rob Burney. Not a soul touched Burney. He had his ears pinned and came straight for number 1, Daniel Hopewell. Daniel never saw what hit him.
Backside, that's one thing you've really got to protect again, and that's those 2 young guys over on that backside over there that are really having a good learning experience tonight, and they'll have another good one Monday afternoon at practice, too.
Well, you'll know, too, Danville is outnumbering Harrodsburg on that right side. You got a wideout over there. So Danville has an extra man defensively on their right side. It makes it a lot easier to make that penetration. Martelson in motion to the far sideline. Hopewell rolls to his right, wants to throw. Throws it for Julius. He caught it. And it goes incomplete. And the fight for the ball in between 2 defenders.
He did a good job coming back. That ball could have been intercepted had Julius not really come back hard for the ball, doing like a good receiver is always taught to do. Come back and make something happen. He just did a real good job.
4th down and 20. Harrodsburg's still going to run it. Back up in their own territory. Think about it, Coach Johnson's never say never. Never say die.
Never say die.
Keep punching.
Well, you want to keep their spirits up. Let them know that you're not going to quit yourself, because when they see that in you, then it carries over to the players.
Trip set to the near sideline. 1 setback. Keith Dunn behind Daniel Hopewell, and Daniel being pressured and is sacked. Murray got to him first. Was able to get a hand on him. Justin Lamb moved in to make the stop for the Ads at the 15-yard line. 2:14 remaining in the ball game. The Ads lead it 17-6. Harrodsburg scored first tonight. Went up 6-0 with 3:55 to go in the first quarter on a Keith Dunn 1-yard plunge. The point after kick by Brock Sims sailed wide to the left. That's been all the scoring for Harrodsburg.
They really looked good in that series, too. They really did a good job taking the ball down the field. And the wheels just kind of come off here the second half.
On the little keeper by Shadone Brown, and Brown dances into the end zone. A little counter play. The Ads stick another one in. With 2 minutes, 8 seconds to go.
A real good play back to the backside, a little counter action back there. Had some good lead blocking. A lot of confusion. Again, they do a real good job of hiding the ball and using their backs in there to work people around.
Michael Wheat checks in for the point after try. 23-6. Now the fans begin leaving. Here's the snap. The ball is down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So, with 2 minutes, 8 seconds to go in the ball game, Danville now goes up 24-6. We'll be back in a half minute for the kickoff. This is high school football on Sports 99.
Visit your PNC Bank, Chestnut Street in Harrodsburg. Inquire about the all-in-one checking account. No minimum balance requirement. Write as many checks as you want. Keep as much or as little in your account as you desire. You receive accidental death insurance, personalized checks at no charge, Quest banking machine card, and many other banking services for one low monthly fee. Stop in at your PNC Bank on Chestnut Street for more information. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. The growing bank in Harrodsburg. Frustrated by heating and cooling bills that never go anywhere but up? Let Anderson help you bring them down with high-performance insulating glass. This revolutionary glass has a special transparent coating that helps keep heat inside when that's what you want, outside when you don't. And your windows will be even more energy efficient than those with triple glazing. That means your furnace or air conditioner doesn't have to work as hard. Down come those energy bills. Find out more about high-performance insulating glass. Talk to your Anderson dealer, Coleman's Lumber Company in Harrodsburg, your Golden Rule Lumber Center.
Michael Wheat gets set to kick off. He's laying it down like a Tennessee roller.
Strip kick it again, looks like.
And it's taken by Phil Yates as he gets it at the 42-yard line.
He did a good job of getting that. Kip Ballard went in over there and just kind of helped Phil cover himself off as he kind of bobbled the ball just a little bit and then pushed it with his left hand to knock it on further out. But then he was able to reel it back in, and Kip went over and covered him up to protect him.
Don't forget, at the conclusion of this game will be, I think, checking in with John Sloan. We'll wrap-up of the Mercer County-Lewis County game in which Scotties were winning quite handedly earlier. 2:03 to go in this one, and we're leading at 24-6. Harrodsburg first and 10 at their own 41-yard line. Hopewell retreats, wants to throw, looks, now pulls it down, and is going to be thrown for a loss back at the 36-yard line as all the receivers were covered up. Coming in to make the stop again, Nathan Fuqua. We've called that fellow's name a whole lot of times here.
Absolutely. He's done a real good job of covering some ground, hasn't he?
It'll be second down and 14, a loss of 4 on the carry by Daniel Hopewell after trying to just get open.
I want to say hello to a friend of mine, Steve Bird. Steve's been in the hospital over at Danville this week with some mishaps. I just want to let him know we're thinking about him, praying for him.
We'll ditto that. Hope he gets along okay. All right, Hopewell, second down and 14. Here's the hitch pass to R.J. Bartleson. Bartleson crosses the 40, the 45, and then there comes the flag as they got the headgear on the tackle. Mario Buster got the headgear to drag R.J. down. I really didn't get a face mask. Actually got the back of the headgear.
And R.J.'s getting up a little bit gimpy there. I was watching Brandon Yates as he came over just to kind of clean house on somebody and try to make a good lick so that R.J. could get it on down before that face mask was grabbed.
That'll be a major penalty assessed against Danville, a 15-yarder. Put it in Admiral territory down at the Ad 39-yard line. A minute and 1 second to go in the ball game. Harrodsburg sure would like to get one on the scoreboard before the end of this ball game.
Absolutely.
At least for a confidence builder, if nothing else. Trip set to the near sideline. Hopewell again drops, throws it deep for Yates, and it is intercepted by Mario Buster, but he was out of bounds when he made the interception. It was the fake to the screen pass right, and Brandon broke down the right sideline, but Danville did not bite on the screen.
None whatsoever. I noticed Julius Hughes coming back. Looked like he was by himself over on his left. You might ought to start scanning the field a little bit better, a little bit quicker to release that ball. Check all your receivers. Don't go to this what they call a hot receiver. A hot receiver is somebody that they really want to go to if they can. Don't just absolutely look him in all the way.
Hopewell once again throws, and it is tapped up into the air by Wilson. Chris Wilson.
Big, tall, lanky young man just got his hands up, got up in the air, got on him. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. Did a good job of leaping up in the air to hit that ball and knock it away.
It'll be 3rd and 10, still at the 39-yard line of Danville. 39 seconds is all that remains. 39 yards and 39 kicks for Harrodsburg. Admirals are going to walk away 2-0 on the season. What a way for them to start out. And we'll be hosting Shelby County next Friday night. Harrodsburg will be on the road for the second time this season. So they'll be going to Boyle County. It's kind of like jumping out of the frying pan into the fire.
Bad to worse, yep.
Here's Hopewell. Makes the handoff to Keith Dunn, who runs it out of bounds. With 34 seconds to go. And Kelly Elam for the Harrodsburg Herald makes the stop on the sideline. She kept Keith from going on to the track.
Didn't want to see him get hurt.
I see she's a pretty good athlete, too. I don't know if you noticed, she does a lot of jogging in the Harrodsburg area. Saw her the other night, so she's probably in pretty good shape. They would keep Keith off the track. 4th down and 7. Last play, unless Harrodsburg gets a first down. 34 seconds. Do we have any razzle-dazzle left?
I don't know what they're planning. All the kids look like they're getting their heads in there and kind of scratching their heads on what they want to do, too, almost.
You know, there's going to be some tired young men after this game tonight, both ways, Danville and Harrodsburg. As Hopewell, Wilson had a hand on him. Daniel trying to go to the sideline and just does not get to the first down marker.
Nope. Right there. Once you cross the line of scrimmage, too, you can't dump it on down there. So that was all he could do, was just try to get on to the sideline. And maybe shouldn't have stopped the clock, though. Let it go ahead and die out on this one.
Daniel did go out of bounds, so that's the reason it stopped. But Danville will now take over on downs, 1st and 10. And we see some reserves now showing up in the lineup for the Ads. Harrodsburg really has not had an opportunity to put any reserves into the lineup at all. First and 10 for the Ads. And a new quarterback, I think. Now that's
looks like they're unbalanced almost over there. Are they short a player? Timeout Danville.
And Danville wants to take a timeout. With 24 seconds remaining, Danville leads at 24-6. We'll take 30 seconds for a timeout. We'll be right back. This is high school football on Sports 99.
Why are so many people, not just local people, but from out of the county, shopping with Harrodsburg Ford Mercury? Well, first of all, they have a selection of new and used vehicles. They offer reasonable prices, good trade-in allowances, quality service after the sale. Don Allen and his staff in Harrodsburg Ford Mercury don't just want your business, they want to earn it. They go all out to try to please you in every way. They only ask for the opportunity to show you their vehicles and the kind of deals they offer. North Main, downtown Harrodsburg.
As we go back to play, Danville did not have enough players out on the field. Harrodsburg right now has 12, if you count Albus. And I bet you he'd like to play.
I know he will.
He's always told me he's good for about 1, maybe 2 plays, and then it'd be over for him, too.
But I bet there'd be good plays.
But I bet they'd be some kind of plays. This is going to be the scrum huddle type offense going down. Up. Yeah.
He just touched his...
Holtzclaw took the snap, ran straight back, and went down on one knee. That'll be the last play of the game as teams will now meet at midfield for courtesy handshake amongst players.
That's not one of those things you really want to do. They just didn't play up to their capabilities, and I think the Harrodsburg team realizes they didn't. So it's
behind the pulpit. Here's Dunn at the 5 to the 10. Comes to the near sideline, the 15. Beats a man at the 20. He's to the 25. Jumps over a man to 30. Down to the 34-yard line.
There's one player that I know will be dedicated to getting the job done. As says Keith Dunn, he's going to get it done because he ducks and he dodges. He tucks it up. It looks like just a little fake of the numbers. Gets one guy to take a bite, and he picks up an extra 10 yards, 12 yards from there.
First and 10 for Harrodsburg. They will start out in excellent field position at their own 36-yard line. Down, though, by 8 points, 14-6. I don't think anybody left to go home either. They're all still here. Maybe a few extra.
I think you'll see a few extra that have come in and climbed over or done something.
Wide to the right goes Seth Karen. Brandon Yates is wide to the left. One setback as Brandon Yates goes in motion to the far sideline. Hopewell turns, makes the pitch back to Dunn. Dunn beats one man on the line of scrimmage, turns it back up, and then is hit right at the 37-yard line.
Just right there.
Was made, I think, by Fuqua, the nose tackle.
This is a team sport. This is 11 men doing what they have to do, particularly on the offensive side of the football. The defense can look at it from a different perspective. One man do an outstanding job, make the big play. Offense has got to play as a team, and when one man goes unblocked, just as in that particular play right there, it blows the whole play.
Harrodsburg, again, wide outs in both directions. Dunn, the lone setback. The handoff comes to Casey Spencer. Coming to the near sideline. Casey finds an opening, crosses the 40, still on his feet. Turns, and then is driven down by Chase Harp and Mario Buster.
That's the kind of effort it's going to take to win this ball game. And then what I really enjoyed seeing was Philip Yates coming over, still pushing people off of him until the whistle was blown, still trying to help his rusher get the ball and get the first down.
There was a gaping hole over here on the left side. Harrodsburg's offensive line had created a nice hole for Casey Spencer. Double wing set, one setback, Keith Dunn behind Daniel Hopewell. Daniel turns, makes the handoff, straight ahead to Keith Dunn, does not get the first down. He just got it to the 45-yard line, would have to get it up to the 46 for the first down, so Harrodsburg is going to be faced with a fourth down situation and very short, and will most likely punt the football. Well, or not.
He's talking to Casey down here, going to send another play in and do some homework. He's got a lot of confidence in this defense. He railed them over really, really good at halftime, but he still has a lot of confidence in this defense.
Fourth down and a yard at the 45-yard line. Power eye set. Hopewell turns.
Go, baby. Go, baby.
And Hopewell gets the first down and more as he fumbled the ball out of bounds. Danville's got it. Yep. Now they say it went out of bounds.
He was bobbling it as he had possession. He did not quite have total possession before he went out of bounds. And just a real good play. Looked like the quarterback turned and missed his handoff, or the running back went the wrong way or something. You got to just turn up where the running back was supposed to go. That's what he did and was able to pick up that first down.
Got the first down and more. Strung it out. And then a Danville player knocked it out of his hands. And it came rolling toward the sideline.
That's one thing that Dan's going to have to learn how to do is grip that ball and know that these big guys are going to really hit you.
Hopewell turns the handoff to Keith Dunn over left tackle. Short yardage, gets it up across the 45 to about the 44, and we get a couple of Harrodsburg players hurt on that play.
I believe Casey's down just a little bit. I think he and number 34 met kind of head on. Brian Rowland just met head to head, and I think Casey's got a burner.
Yep, and quickly, Donna Benedict. It is, Keith Dunn is also down for Harrodsburg. They're looking at his ankle.
Looks like they're looking at Casey's knee, too.
With 9 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. Danville leads at 14-6. We'll take a 30-second injury timeout. This is high school football on Sports 99. Yard line is Gary Smith, is being attended to out at about the 25-yard line by Kevin Hildebrandt. Excuse me, it's Jeff. I always got him mixed up with his brother. I don't know why I do that. guess because I had Kevin when I was teaching school. But Jeff, along with Jonna Benedict, who provides her services from the James D. Hagan Memorial Hospital.
And what a big benefit that is.
Oh, she is here several times during the practice week, checking on the injuries and doing everything she can to make sure that Pioneers stay in pretty sound position.
She does a good job.
Yeah, she's outstanding.
Very caring, very concerned. She was right there with TJ last week when he was hurt, and we do miss TJ as we got a break here, and I don't think we realize how much we're going to miss that big guy in the middle in there, because he took up two people, just the mere size and pushing people back. He really did a good job in there for us.
TJ was here tonight. I don't see him right now, but he was here in a wheelchair. They had his left leg heavily braced. In case you missed Coach Alvis Johnson's interview earlier in the broadcast, TJ will have surgery on Tuesday, and it sounds rather gruesome, but putting in a couple of screws as he broke the femur right above his left knee and also tore some ligaments in there. So,
and the femur, folks, that's the big bone.
That's the big bone.
Of course, DJ's a big old guy, too, so breaking that big bone took quite a little twist on his knee there. So we wish TJ well and pray that he recovers.
Gary Smith being aided to the sideline very gingerly, evidently it's like maybe his left ankle or something, maybe.
I think it's that hamstring. That bothered him last week late in the game. And
as Harrodsburg has got to dig in defensively, they did a good job last week in a goal line stand against Bell County. Let's see if they can do the same thing here against these Danville Admirals as Hart hits the go-ahead signal from referee Bernie Jenkins. Hart reaches under center. Turns the handoff. Keeper by Hart. Fumbled the football, but was able to jump back on it.
I don't know if he just missed the handoff with the run to fullback as he passed by or what. I didn't see the ball stop, but I knew the fullback just got eaten alive right there. Next thing I know, Chase is falling on top of the ball.
Dennis Johnson, R.J. Bartleson, Seth Cairns all around the football, so they must have been the ones to cause the problem. A loss of 5. It'll be second down, goal to goal at the 10. Again, the full house backfield. Harrodsburg defense trying to dig in here. Harp makes a quick pitch to Shadone Brown. Brown gets it up to about the 7-yard line before a host of blue jerseys converge to make the stop. Led in there by Casey Spencer and Julius Yeast and R.J. Bartleson.
Did a real good job of keeping him from getting outside at that point. You know, we don't want to get that kind of speed out on an outside corner because that will really beat us. So we've got to beat them to the corner to keep them and make them turn back in.
Barry checks in with the play from the sideline, and Coach Sam Harp and splits wide to the right. First time they've broken out of their full house backfield in some time. Harrodsburg giving double coverage on Barry as Harp reaches under center. Turns, wants to throw across the middle, and it is almost picked off.
Almost.
By James Yeast. It's the same kind of a pattern that they scored on, with Barry breaking across the middle. This time Yeast was it Keith?
I think that was James. I think that was used out there. Looked like it's just a bad read on Chase's part. Just threw that ball in there trying to force something, make it happen.
Michael Wheat again checks in, try a field goal. This time they spotted at the 16-yard line. This will be a 26-yard field goal attempt, and he'll have to kick it to his right as the ball is on the left hash mark. A little off-center. Waiting on the snap from center. There's the ball. The kick is down. The kick is up. This one looks good. It is good. So, with 6 minutes, 48 seconds to go in the third period, Danville puts another 3 on the board. Our score, it's Danville 17, Harrodsburg 6. This is high school football on Sports 99.
You wonder what happened to the good old days? Well, the good old days are back at Southern Hardware in Harrodsburg. Top-notch personal service. Plenty of clerks to help you with what you want. They don't point to where it is. They get it for you. You'll find many leading brands to choose from at Southern Hardware. You'll find their prices very competitive. Hardware, plumbing supplies, paint, mowers, nuts and bolts. Let the folks at Southern Hardware, Greenville Street in Harrodsburg, help you with their good old-fashioned personal service. When you got Southern, you don't need another.
When the time comes when you are considering a new car, truck, or a good used car, truck, or van, before you buy, check with the sales personnel of Harrodsburg Ford Mercury, North Main, downtown Harrodsburg. They have a gigantic inventory of trucks, vans, cars, all sizes. The price is very reasonable. You'll like their generous trade-in allowances. Let Don Allen and his staff put you in a new car, truck, or van, and good terms available, too. North Main, downtown Harrodsburg, your Ford Mercury dealer.
Danville on the kickoff. Michael Wheat kicks it away. It is one of those Tennessee roller styles. Comes up to Casey Spencer, who takes it on a hop at the 30, to 35, up to the 40-yard line, where he's in net by a host of white jerseys. A 10-yard kickoff return for Casey Spencer. That was the first time that Michael Wheat has put the ball down on his kickoff rather than kicking it high into the air. So Harrodsburg will take over 1st and 10 at their own 41-yard line, down by 17-6. 11-point lead for Danville. 1st and 10 Harrodsburg. Wideouts again in both directions. As Hopewell shows one setback. Here's the pitch back to Keith Dunn. Dunn trying to get on the corner, across to the 40, and then Chase Hart, coming out of the secondary, makes the hit on Keith Dunn. Now Hart doing it both ways for Danville here tonight.
Well, he's shown that he can come up and really play some defense, and he's shown that he's not afraid to give a hit. It's certainly one of those things that he's done a good job on. I was afraid that the referee might see what I see or had seen over here as I watched Josh Garrett try to hold this tackle out here. You can put your hands on one plane of the body, but you cannot put hands on two planes of the body. And Josh had a hand on his chest and a hand on his side, and that's holding.
2nd down and 10, no gain. As Hopewell puts Cairns upon the line of scrimmage. The handoff straight ahead to Keith Dunn. Dunn crosses the 45 up to the 46-yard line before being stopped there by Danville Admiral, who's still down.
Looks like Dennis is down, too. They're waving somebody over to help him. If that's that left leg again bothering, if he's cramping up.
Dennis is cramping up, and Danville's got a player down, too. So with 5 minutes, 42 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, another injury timeout. We'll pause for 30 seconds. Our score, Danville 17, Harrodsburg 6. This is high school football on Sports 99.
Want beautiful, durable interior finishes for your home? Coleman Plumber Company in Harrodsburg is having a sale on 2 of the best from Pittsburgh paints. Our latex flat wall paint glides on, dries fast, cleans up easy. Our low luster latex enamel is perfect for hard use areas like kitchens and halls. Move up to quality interior finishes from Pittsburgh paints, only our best, they guarantee it. On sale now at Coleman's Lumber Company, North College in Harrodsburg. Coleman's Lumber Company, your Golden Rule Lumber Center. Stop in soon.
We saw Dennis cramp up quite a bit last week up at Mount Sterling in the Recreation Bowl. As a matter of fact, spent much of the 3rd quarter. That's where we are here. But, Dennis spent a lot of the 3rd quarter on the sideline with cramps. But he and his brother Derek have both been noted to cramp up some. The injured player for Danville is up and going off to the sideline. That's Justin Lamb, 6 foot, 205-pound junior. Going to the sideline. He was unaided. Sims will check in and punt the football for Harrodsburg. Does not normally punt. Deep for Danville is Hannibal, standing at his own 30-yard line. Sims waiting on the snap from center. And timeout is called, as I don't think Harrodsburg had enough players out there.
No, looks like they were short.
Yep, they were short one man, so had to take the timeout with 4 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Harrodsburg will be punting when we come back in 1/2 minute. This is high school football on Sports 99.
If you need banking services, stop in at your PNC Bank, Chestnut Street in Harrodsburg, where they offer checking accounts, savings accounts, certificates of deposit, lock boxes, savings bonds, traveler's checks, many other banking services. They offer convenient hours 9 to 4. Your PNC Bank, 570 Chestnut Street in Harrodsburg. Member FDIC. It's a community and bank growing together. Also an equal housing lender. PNC.
It's one of the hardest things to do is to teach offensive linemen who to get sometime, and a lot of times you just try to man them up, say cup it up, go from the nose man out. The center would have the nose, and the man right over the top of him, as you might say. The guard would take a linebacker, and the tackle would take his tackle. And then the backs would pick up the outside people. But sometimes to teach young folks that, it's not that easy. You think it is, but you got to get them off the ball first and foremost, and then you got to get them with their head up and eyes looking, because those linebackers come in there really, really fast.
Harrodsburg waiting on the snap from center. There's the snap. Punt is away. It's partially blocked. Takes a Danville roll to the sideline, then we'll get to the 40, 50-yard line.
Well, they just came in from their defensive right side, Harrodsburg's left side. Two players just about got a hand on it. One of them obviously did, and knocked it over to the side. Clark did all he could do to get that one away.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Ads at midfield. 4:36 remaining in the third quarter. Danville leading at 17-6. But momentum has certainly been in Danville's favor for most of this third quarter. Well, since midway, actually, the second quarter. Here's the handoff to Richardson off left tackle. Crosses the 50 up to the Harrodsburg 47-yard line. A gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Stop made by Adam Montgomery and Jeremy Fuller for Harrodsburg.
Danville has obviously decided that with their 11 points up this late in the third quarter, they want to grind things out and see if they can just keep the clock moving, keep the ball on the ground, and go back to the old Danville Admiral type football of grind out football.
Clifford Berry comes wide to the right as the Ads split the backfield this time. As Chase Harp reaches under center, drops back, looks for Berry, across the middle, incomplete. If Keith had been alert there, he might have could have picked it off, as Berry could not hang on to it. It ricocheted off his hands. Keith was eyeballing Berry, and he took the hit on him.
He was really wanting to make a lick. I guess he thought the young man might come down with the ball because he was up in the air after it, and Keith was really focusing in on making a hit.
Well, Dennis is back into the lineup defensively. That's good to see. 3rd down and 6 for the Ads. Once again, Berry comes wide to the right. He draws double coverage as Cairns comes over to cover him at the line of scrimmage. Harp on the keeper is hemmed in and dropped. Back behind the 50-yard line.
Julius Yeast and R.J. Bartleston just did a real good job of coming into the ball and making the play behind the line of scrimmage. Super job over on that right side.
A loss of 6. It'll be 4th down and 12 as they put it back at the Danville 49-yard line. Deep for Harrodsburg, Keith Dunn and Brandon Yates. Punting will again be Chase Harp.
See if they don't try to angle this one out. I know they don't want either one of these guys touching the football, so I'll imagine that Chase Harp would try to angle this ball out as best he could anyway.
Harp waiting on the snap. Gets it away. It is a flubbed kick. And takes a Harrodsburg roll back to the 35-yard line. Looked like maybe somebody might have gotten a piece of that punt by Chase Harp, as it didn't cover a whole lot of territory either.
Well, I know that's probably one of the things that Chase was thinking about, seeing Dennis Johnson line up right over his center and watching Dennis having blocked 2 punts, or Dennis and Julius having blocked one last week against Bell County, so he knows those guys are capable of quickly moving inside and blocking one, especially with those big, long, outreached arms. They can really get up there.
Wide to the near sideline is Brandon Yates. On the wing is Seth Cairns. Split backfield. Hopewell, the handoff going to Phil Yates. And Phil, just not any running room there on that right side as the Admiral defensive line led in there by that-time Jaggers. Along with Fuqua. making the stop.
Just doing a good job over there. Those guys are keeping people off the linebackers, too, letting those linebackers of Danville run free, and they're doing such a good job of filling those holes. Just doing a great job.
Yates again comes wide to the near sideline, the open side of the field. Again, a two-step back behind Daniel Hopewell, who's under center. Rolls to his right, looking to throw, being pressured, and he's sacked all the way back to the 25-yard line as Nathan Fuqua makes the stop.
Well, there again is just where Ernest Dunn comes in over there from an outside linebacker spot, almost follows Dan Hopewell over to that corner right where he was trying to set up and trying to get to. Back got there as fast as he did. And those linebackers are just doing a real good job of filling up. Defensive ends out there just doing a real good job of filling in.
It'll be third down and about 20 for a first down. Harrodsburg would have to get it all the way up to their own 46-yard line for a first down. So definitely backed up. I wouldn't be a bit surprised that Harrodsburg had minus yardage here in this third quarter. One setback, Hopewell. Again drops back to throw. Lobs it in the flat to Dunn, who caught it. And there's three down players over there. And we get a penalty marker thrown as somebody got into the face mask of Keith Dunn.
They didn't want to. You could tell it was like, uh-oh, but they did indeed have Keith Dunn's face mask as they tried to pull him on down and out of bounds.
Do they have the unintentional and intentional in high school, or is it all of them 15 yards?
I think all of them in high school are just 15 yards. We're watching Trace this one off, but
it won't be near enough for the first down. It's going to be 5 yards short by Dunn. I think Keith just did a great job of catching the football. It was coming out at him almost like a wounded duck, and
did a good job of hanging on to it.
Did a good job of hanging on. It'll be third down and call it 10.
Well, again, he's quite an athlete. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch the next couple of years, and people ought to get out and see him because I think they'll see him at another level one day.
Third and 10. Well, actually 9.5 if you want to get into fractions. Ball is at the Harrodsburg 36-yard line. Wide to the right goes Seth Cairns. To the left is Brandon Yates. Cairns comes in motion. Hopewell drops to throw. Gets pressure. Now Hopewell picks it up the middle. He'll get the first down and more as he gets it up to the 49-yard line. Daniel did a great job of ducking Chase Hart, who was coming at him with a full head of steam. He was able to duck under him. Hart missed him and was able to forge forward for a couple of more yards.
Well, the Danville secondary was deep downfield with the Harrodsburg receivers because they knew how far they had to go to get the first down, so they were down there with him. As the pocket collapsed, Dan was able to find a little bit of running room because the secondary was so deep and the linebackers had made such a drop, so he was able to get through there. As they didn't come hard, the linebackers didn't come up and didn't come hard. Looks like the referees now out here are going to be talking as some conversations just kind of broke free, some little chit-chat between players, and the referee wants to go ahead and set the ground rules again and say, guys, we're here to play football, and let's get that done. Don't be doing a lot of mouthing off to each other.
46 seconds remains here in the third quarter. Harrodsburg with a big first down, first and 10 at their own 48-yard line. Down by 11 points, 17-6. Hopewell under center. Handoff to Phil Yates. Still on his feet, won't go down, gets a yard maybe as he got up to the midfield stripe.
Well, he was doing all he could too, just to drive his legs, doing a real good job trying to get some movement. He had people on him, pushing him backwards, but he was just going east and west instead of north and south. But he did a good job of keeping his balance after he'd gotten hit that first couple of times.
Coach Johnson wants to get this play off with 7 seconds. They'll have to hurry. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, 1, and they do not get it off. It's going to be a quick pitch to the right, but the clock runs out of time at the scoreboard, so at the end of 3 here at Harrodsburg High School, the Danville Admirals lead it as we go to the fourth and final quarter, 17-6. We'll return in 60 seconds. This is high school football on Sports 99.
Looking for a real good buy on an automobile, truck, or van?